All right. Well, today we are going to talk about camera movement and angles. This is the second part. We're spending 3 weeks on this, and we're really going to jump into camera angles this week. Really want to talk about why. Going to talk about a little bit the way television, movies used to be done, excuse me, and the way they're done now. Okay, so let's roll. We're just going to kind of jump right into this thing. Okay. So give me a second. Let me get this set up. And here we go. Okay. So look, we have some objectives. All right. If you're taking notes, you don't have to write down all of the objectives. Okay. But I want you to know why we're learning this. Okay. This isn't busy work. Okay. I'm making the assumption that you want to know how to do film. All right, so here we go. All right, so we're going to learn how to identify the different camera angles. When you see a different camera angle in a film, you'll know what's going on. You'll know why it's being used. You'll be able to identify it, okay? We're going to talk about how camera angles help to tell the story. Think about reading a book for a second, okay? And you got pages and pages of text. But when you read a section, sometimes they have a picture next to it that kind of communicates what is in that text. The same thing with video. Switching the different camera angles helps us to communicate. Okay? We're going to talk about how camera angles can communicate power and submission. We're going to talk about how it adds excitement to the scene. And then we're going to talk about the main camera angles that are used. Okay? So let's just start with a little video language. Even as I'm talking here, I hope you guys are starting to watch video critically. I'm obviously having a little problem with this camera because did you see what happened? Did you see how the color has changed? Okay, that shouldn't be doing this because I've done what's called white balancing to this camera. So I'm going to have to check the settings. But I just wanted to address it because I know me, when I'm watching video, these things distract me. All right, so let's talk about a little bit of language. Okay, all right. The more angles you have, the more shots you have. All right. Video production is an assembly of different pieces, or different shots. All right. Think about it this way. Okay, a shot is a single uninterrupted recording. But you could have many shots that make up the story, all right? Think about a sentence. Communicates something, right? And it's a bunch of different words that communicate it. So your shots are like all these different words that make a sentence, okay? And that creates like a sequence that you have in your video. So if you want to take it a step further, many sequences, many different locations, things like that, help tell the story, which is maybe the paragraph. Okay, so just a little metaphor there. Okay, shots are organized and thought out ahead of time. Okay, when you're writing a story, you should be thinking about the shots you're going to use. In a couple weeks, I'm going to plan out a video here, 1 week, and you're actually going to copy it down with me and have the exact same paperwork that I do. And we're going to plan our shots. We're going to decide on camera angles. And then we're going to put out a separate document to how to shoot it. Okay? We'll get there. And then you're going to watch me execute it. All right? And just a reminder, a side note. Okay? We're talking about camera movement. Okay? Zoom is not a camera movement. Zoom is a special effect. And I still challenge you, watch television, watch movies. It's hardly ever used in professional video production. Okay? You hardly never see it. Sometimes the on-the-scene reporter, he's trying to get a shot. He can't run up fast enough. You'll see him move a camera and zoom in on something, okay, to help you see it. That's different than professional production. All right? So, here we go, jumping right in. Camera angles. All right. Camera angles are a way of framing subject from a particular position. All right? All right, they're named for characteristics they have. All right, there's really 5 different categories of camera angles, or shots rather, that we should, that just makes more sense, shots. So we're going to deal with 3 of them in detail today, but here they are. Okay, subject distance. How far away are we from the subject? All right, so there's some shots there that we're going to look at. Horizontal camera position. That's to say, if I have a camera, all right, horizontal would be, if we're shooting me, angles this way. Okay, think about this. I know a lot of people have told me they confuse horizontal and vertical. All right, think about the horizon. Horizontal is this way. Okay, vertical camera position. Okay, that would be this way. Where's your angles here versus here? Okay, and then the purpose of the shot and the population of the shot, which means how many people are in the shot. Okay, the last 2 there we'll talk about next week. All right, so let's roll. We got a lot of material to go through, but I got some helps on PSL for you. All right, so just take a look at this list here. All right, extreme long shot, medium long shot, full shot. Okay, you're already overwhelmed, right? Do I have to memorize all of these? Okay, listen, if we were in the classroom and I was teaching this a little bit different way, some of this would be on a test and I would show you which ones you need to memorize. You need to know these exist. All right, the medium shot, medium close up. Let me kind of show you some pictures here. All right, so a long shot or a full shot, that's something that captures the whole thing. Some of you have seen this show Friends, okay? And you know that as they sit on the couch in the coffee shop, right? They it cuts to each person as they're talking, and you see a lot of different camera angles. But there's one shot of the wide shot, and that's like your establishing shot that they have all the time. Okay, it kind of sets the stage. All right, so if I was doing something on a farm and I really wanted to see, I might start with even an aerial view, you know, of the farm. I might start with something far away and focusing in, you know, on a farmhouse. So an extreme long shot is going to take everything, and then it just moves in from there. Okay, subject distance. All right, long shot, medium, long shot. A full shot would be when you have the subject in there, like the person, okay, and you have their full body. All right, 3/4 and medium shots. There you go. This is just an example of what you have, okay, used for different reasons. Okay, if I'm cutting back and forth, look at that medium shot here. If I'm cutting back and forth between 2 different people, all right, they're having a conversation, I might use 2 medium shots, right? Close-up shots, I'll give you the purpose of these, but think for a second, especially where it says the big close-up. I'll be honest with you, big close-up, I've never even used that term. A medium close-up, an extreme close-up, I've used those terms. But look at that extreme close-up. If you're doing that, what are you trying to communicate? Maybe an emotion. Maybe looking at that big close-up and you're really trying to get that facial expression. Because the words that I say, remember, video is about emotion. If you can touch a person's emotions, you can sell a product, you can have a great feature film, successful show. You know, if you're making people happy, you're making people sad, you're in touch with that, okay? So you might really want to see, this is the shot of the person really close up, they turn away, and then they show a close up and they show a tear coming down their face, okay? It just makes it a little bit more dramatic, all right? So that's the distance, okay? So the second thing are the horizontal positions, okay, which move the camera, try to keep everything from here, move the camera this way, all right? And there we have a list: front, 3/4, profile, the camera would be here, 3/4, rear, and rear, all right? and some examples. Just take a minute and let's look at this. This is the front, straight on. 3/4, it's moving around. Profile is a profile. 3/4 rear and a rear. Okay? Then vertical angles, up and down. You have a bird's eye, a high, neutral, low, worm's eye view. Now, you know, up until the worm's eye view, low, neutral, high, those are all easy shots to get. When you start to get really high, you need what's called a boom. We actually have one of these in the classroom. You can put the camera way up high and adjust it from down low. And then a bird's eye shot, which you'll have a boom. Sometimes in the movies they'll use a helicopter. What do they use now a lot? A drone, okay? And they use that. This drone right here is a kind of middle of the road drone. It's very small. It's not like the image is stable when the drone is stable, but when you move the drone around, the image is a little shaky. It's got some image stabilization in it for software, but it doesn't really have a physical stabilization. But you can, this is the camera right here, and when it's up in the air, you can move the camera straight down. So you could have an overhead shot. Like if I had the drone right up above me right there, okay, you could like look right at the top of my head, see my bald spot, okay? But a lot of times, you know, drones are used for those really high shots now. And drones are even used for, you know, angles like this, you know, moving around, okay? So here are some examples of these angles, okay? Bird's eye, high, neutral. Again, you don't have to be like writing all these down because I'm going to give you something. But you should know the categories. You should know the distance, the horizontal, and the vertical angles, okay? And be thinking about how to use these. Now, I want you to notice one specific thing here. I want you to look at the worm's eye angle and the bird's eye angle, all right? Now, I don't have people in here with me where I could take the camera and hook it up here to the studio and show you, all right? But imagine this scene, okay? Some of you, you've been in school, you've seen it, okay? The scene is this, okay? You're in a classroom, okay? And a student does something, and the teacher walks over to them and says, "You're going to the principal's office." So they go to the principal's office. So in this video, we're going to show the student, the kid, doesn't have to be a high school student, okay, the kid and the principal, okay? And you're wanting to communicate authority. You're wanting to communicate submission, okay? Now, in this story, the student knows they're in trouble and they're just saying, yes, 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 I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Well, that angle right there, when I shoot it at the student and they're talking, I may want to use this, you see my pointer? This angle right here. Looks like the principal's looking down at them, okay, looking down from the top, all right? Submission, it makes them look smaller. Now, look at this exact same person, exact same location, change the angle to this worm's eye view. You're looking up. See how it makes the person look bigger? So I might want to shoot the principal in that situation really big, okay? Now, we have something in our story where all of a sudden, you know, you see this in Hollywood. It's the revolt scene, okay? Somebody's now going to push back and say, wait a second, you can't tell me what to do. And instead of just using the words there, the student decides, now let's say we're in high school, the student's like, that's it, I've had enough of this. I'm not suggesting you do this, by the way. That always turns out bad. But, so let me just cut here so you can see me. So the, during this thing, you've got the principal, you know, shown really big. The student stands up in their chair, and you may move that camera. You may start that worm's eye view, and as the student moves, you may take this camera and go like this. And all of a sudden, the person who was in submission has moved into the position of authority. Not that they're actually there, but what you're communicating is they're going to fight back. And now they're getting bigger than being small. Okay? You see how that might work? Just kind of giving you an idea how to use different camera angles. Okay? When someone is sad, you might shoot them from up top and it shows them kind of really small or withdrawn or sad. And then the superhero comes and they show them, and the camera's from the back and it makes them look really big and they're reaching down to pick up your hand, okay, and stand up. And as the person stands up, it changes the camera angle low, so it shows the superhero pulling the person, you know, who's really sad or whatever is going on, who's the victim, pulls them up, and now you are as strong as I am. Okay, you can communicate all that in writing. You can communicate all that in one video, but how much better does it change the story when you switch up these angles? Okay? All right, so real quick, some final thoughts here. All right? I want you to think about the video project that you said you're going to plan. We're working on a music video or a COVID video right now, right? So I want you to think about that. What is it that you're planning right now? Now, this particular video, you're not required to use angles, okay? I'll give you a little hint. Coming up, your next video, I want to see camera angles. But we got a lot of teaching to do before you can do that. But I want you to say, how can you look at your story right now and use these angles to help communicate your message? You might want to even mess around, try some different camera angles. Instead of having one shot for a scene, maybe use a different camera angles that in the editing you can cut back and forth, okay? Is it more work? Of course it is, but it makes it worth it, all right? All right, next week we're going to talk about two things. We're going to talk about shot population and specific purposes for your shots, okay? So what I want to do real quick is I'm going to cut over to PSL, and get out of here. All right, so let's look at our PSL page here. Right here under assignments, you have your worksheet, your either note or summary that you're going to do. But I've put this right here, okay? Camera Perspectives PDF, all right? This would be something that you should probably make a copy of, save it to a file folder on Google so that you have it, print it out if you want to, look at it. But this talks about a lot of the angles, all right? And it's a little bit different than what I just showed you in the book. See, that color change in this video is driving me nuts. All right. So there's an extreme. This would be like your extreme wide shot, okay? Okay, and then you notice here's this house, right? And we're just zooming in. Oh, look, right here, there's someone. Okay. All right, right here, there's someone. I zoom in a little bit more. There they are. It just shows you the close-up. Okay, a point of view shot, okay? This right here is where, I didn't really talk about this. This is where you're holding the camera right here as if you're the person's eyes, okay? Weather shot, I've never actually ever used that term. But if you're wanting to show what the weather is doing, and that's like anything, okay? You're wanting to communicate it's a stormy day. You might have a puddle with a lot of raindrops or something like that. Okay, here's the eyes. Okay, a cutaway, we'll talk a little bit more about that. We'll talk about this next week, okay? And then here's just a written definition of these camera angles, okay? Here's your vertical angles, and here is your horizontal angles, okay? So let me close with this. How are camera angles important, and why are they important? I'm going to give you a real practical use. Tell you a story. I should have had pictures. A friend of mine had a car that he was selling, and it was a old Ford Bronco. is, you know, larger vehicle, an SUV, and he just took a picture of it, front picture, side picture, and threw it up on Craigslist. And he wasn't getting a lot of bites or anything like that. So he and I were just talking about this one day, and I said, hey, can I go out and take some pictures of your Bronco? I want you to put my pictures up on the Craigslist page. And he thought I was ridiculous, okay? But what I did is I moved it into the front of the lot. Now, when I think big truck, four-wheel drive thing, I think big, authority, powerful, right? I looked at the pictures on him. He had a front view, a side view. Neither one of them communicated power. I went to the front of the vehicle and I did a 3/4 front angle from like a worm's eye view, all right, showing, and it made the truck look really big, okay? And I did some other angles around, but I used this. I didn't shoot anything. Everything was either straight on, nothing was like this to make it look small. Everything was down here to make it look big. And I said, let's put these up on your Craigslist post. And he did, and he was borderline flat out laughing at me, okay? And he put those pictures up, he redid the ad, didn't change anything on the description or anything like that, and he started getting calls on his vehicle. Why? Because the truck looked way more impressive, okay? Did the truck change? No. Price change? No. Did the description change? No. You know what changed? Just the camera angles in the picture, okay? So here's the tip. If you're selling something online, you're going to put pictures up. Think about, what can I do with angles, with clarity, to make this look attractive? In the case of a four-wheel drive car, you're wanting to make it look big and powerful. Now, if I was shooting a Prius, okay, I want to communicate really scrappy, really small, efficient on gas, I might shoot it from up here, okay? And make it look, oh, that's a little small car. That's what I'm looking for, okay? So, just a couple of things. So, this is there for you. That's on PSL. So, this week, guys, note sheet, hand that in. And next week, we'll jump into this thing just a little bit deeper, okay? So, hey, that's it for now. Hope you guys are having an awesome week. And we'll see you online again. So, until then, we out.